It's only been 2 weeks since I filmed my last video and I've already forgotten how to talk to the camera. Hello everyone, my name is Laura or Kane Dickens. Welcome back to my channel. Today I am doing a review, a non-spoiler review of my best friend's Exorcism by Grady Hendrix. My Best Friend's Exorcism is about two young girls, Abby and Gretchen, who have been inseparable best friends since childhood in 80s America. They're also close friends with the two girls, Margaret and Glee, and the four of them form their little high school sophomore friendship group. One night when the four girls are having a sleepover over at Margaret's house, they end up taking drugs for the very first time. Everything goes wrong and Gretchen ends up going missing. When Gretchen is eventually found the next day, Abby is the very first person to notice that Gretchen is acting extremely different. She is traumatized, she is terrified, she is a completely different person. She starts to complain about hearing voices. She complains that she feels people touching her when there's nobody around her. She constantly feels like she's being watched. Nobody else around them seems to really be listening to Abby, but Abby is Gretchen's best friend and she knows for sure that there's something seriously wrong with her. All of a sudden, really scary, dangerous things start happening to people around Gretchen, people in her family, people in her school, and nobody's really paying attention to this but Abby. Gretchen starts to become nasty. She starts to turn people against Abby, but Abby is not going to lose hope. There's something wrong with Gretchen. She's not being herself and Abby is determined to get to the bottom of it. So Abby sets off on a journey on her own to find out what is happening to her best friend. What did I like? Almost everything. I loved the 80s pop culture references. I loved the music references. Most of my favorite bands and artists are from the 80s, so seeing them being referenced in here was so much fun, like Phil Collins and Def Leppard and Queen. I loved the style. I loved the girls trying to dress up like Madonna. I loved all that stuff, and it felt right in the story. It didn't feel forced and cheesy. It was a lot of fun, and I really loved that part of the story. I feel like it really added to the atmosphere. It just felt like watching an episode of season 3 of Stranger Things. It was just so beautifully 80s. I was really impressed at the way that Grady Hendrix wrote the girls in this book. The friendship dynamics were just so realistic. They were so well written. I loved the friendship between Abby and Gretchen. I just thought it was so beautiful to see two young girls care about each other that much and have a friendship that strong. It was really lovely to read about, because when I was younger I never really had that. I only kind of have that now in my 20s. I really loved how the weather almost had its own storyline. As the story started to progress and as it started to get more and more spooky, so did the weather. The storms would become stronger. It just felt like it was getting more dismal and dark and gloomy as the story got more dark and gloomy, and I really liked that. Things I didn't like, there's very few, and honestly a lot of them aren't even Grady Hendrix's fault. The first one is that I personally don't like reading or watching storylines about bullying. I just find it very hard to read, but obviously that's not Grady Hendrix's fault. He wrote it extremely well. It was very realistic. Unfortunately, it was very relatable. The way that a lot of girls turned against Abby because of rumors and teenage cattiness and immaturity was just so well written. I related a lot. I met some girls like Margaret in school. Yeah. It's the same with Carrie by Stephen King, which I read maybe last month or the month before, and I loved it. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. I had a lot of fun with that book as well, but I had the same problem. I just don't like reading about bullying. I find it really upsetting. Obviously, it's supposed to be there to, you know, evoke emotion in us, and it certainly did. So it's not even really a thing that I didn't like. It was just something that I found quite hard to read as a part of the story. One thing that didn't put me off but may put other people off, it's not scary. I didn't find it scary. I just found it to be a lot of fun. Like I said, it was like watching an episode of season 3 of Stranger Things. It was just a fun ride. I really enjoyed myself. I would highly recommend it. I gave it a 4 out of 5, but it's more like a 4.5 out of 5. I had a lot of fun with it. I will definitely reread this. Hopefully I'll reread it next Halloween. We'll see. But I will definitely be rereading this in the future because I had a lot of fun with it. How many times have I said that? I really did. It was so much better than I expected it to be. I got a job 2 weeks ago, and obviously lockdown has come around again in Ireland, so I'm back home for another 6 weeks, and this happened. I dyed my hair in time for Halloween, in time for Black Widow, which now I won't be able to see in cinemas because lockdown. And that's the tea, you guys. I really hope that you enjoyed this very short video. I just wanted to pop on here and make a video since I haven't made one in so long. I've barely been reading anything because of the new job, but I'm in lockdown now, so hopefully I will get a lot of spooky reads done next month in November, like Dracula, Cujo, Dolores Claiborne. I've been watching Scream, I've been watching Halloween, the Halloween franchise. I'm going to watch, what am I going to watch tonight? I can't remember. Oh, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. If you'd like to see me talk about books in the future, or if you have any books that you'd like to make me, if you have any books that you'd like to make me, would you like to make me a book? If you enjoyed the video, if you wouldn't mind liking it, and if you would like to see me talk about books in the future, if you'd like to subscribe, but you don't have to, it's all G, we see each other. Goodbye, ye children of the corn.